All right, all right. Well, we are back at it again. We are excited. Like I just told you, I am live, baby, live from Jamaica, having a good time. One love, wagwan, wagwan to my brothers and sisters. One love to you. We are down here getting it in, connecting with the people. All right, people that look just like you. I'm talking about there is a lookalike of you down here on this beach right now. There is someone down here that looks just like you, but they have more of they have a different dialect. All right, some of them may look more, African-ish. Some of them may look more Dominican-ish. All right, but they look just like you. Your brothers, your sisters, they down here outside. We just so happen to book this trip at the time where they're doing their Independence Day. Of course, we don't celebrate Independence Day back home. Some of us don't. But down here, they're Irie mine. They're down here celebrating. They're doing out there doing their parade and all that. We had no idea they was doing it, but it was just this is their culture. This is what they're about, and it's just been a beautiful thing to be intermingled in with the culture. So today we're going to get straight into it. All right, you can grab your scriptures. Come along with me. Come along with me. Come along with me today. As you can see, I'm fired up because the Most High has been good. So let's go into Proverbs chapter 13 for a second. All right, like I said, I need you all it's going to be interactive. Of course, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to share the scriptures, but then I'm going to open it up to you. All right, I talked about the high level thinkers that I invited to the call today, and I appreciate those of you that are high level thinkers. So let's get right into it. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 13 real quick. I'm coming from the New King James Bible. So if yours read just a little tad bit different, just bear with me, all right? So Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 12, it said, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when the desire comes, it is a tree of life or a tree of God. So I want you to think about that. When you delay your promises, hope deferred, hope delayed, it makes the heart sick. It frustrates us when we say that we're going to do something, or someone promises us that they're going to do something, and it does not come to fruition. But it says, when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. What does a tree of life do? It produces fruit. So when you accomplish your worthwhile objective, when you accomplish your goals, when you accomplish your dreams, it begins to manifest and start bearing fruit in other areas of your life. This is what we need to understand. That's why it's important for you to set objectives. It's important for you to set goals, because if you do not, you're like the hamster on the wheel, going up and down and around, not going nowhere fast. But when you're able to get off of that wheel and go and fulfill your desire and get around some other people that's been fulfilling their desire. I'm with someone right now, right there on the beach, a guy worth tens of millions of dollars. Some of you was on the virtual meeting a few weeks ago. You was able to hear from. But we down here. It's a group of us. We down here having a real good time. And I'm trying to, of course, continue to build with this group, but I want to be able to have you all there with me as well. So now let's go to Ecclesiasticus. For those of you who have the Apocrypha, let's go to my favorite book, Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 14. All right, this is key tonight. I want you all to get in, and we're going to want to hear from you here shortly. So Ecclesiasticus, chapter 14, and let's go to, I'm looking at 14. Let's see if I'm in the right chapter. All right, here we go, 14 and 11. My son, according to thy own ability, do good unto thyself and give Yah his due offerings. Give the Most High his due offerings, but it says, according to your ability, do good unto yourself. Listen, wisdom is commanding you. Wisdom is instructing you that you are supposed to do good unto yourself. So what kind of lie have we bought into to think that we just have to just serve the Most High, keep his commandments, and be poor? Just serve the Most High, go show up to our assemblies week in and week out, and struggle for our whole life. Who sold you that lie? Why did you buy into it? The wisdom tells us, according to your ability, do good unto yourself. And that's what I want to tell you all today. Do good unto yourself. Do not buy into the lie that, the Most High doesn't have good out here for you. The Most High, I'm on the island right now. I'm on the beaches with people that's doing very well for themselves. And so Us that have the instruction manual, we have the wisdom at our disposal. What did the Messiah say to the people that was listening to him back in the time? He said the children in this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. Guess what? That's a smack in the face for every one of us, because we are supposed to be the wisest individuals on the face of the earth. We are supposed to be the ones that's implementing the instruction manual. Listen, he's given us the instruction manual, which is his word. His word is the instruction manual, and we are supposed to be utilizing it to our ability so that we can be able to gather in the resources. We can be able to gather in the wealth, and we can set up villages in these different places like Africa and Haiti and in the DR and the Puerto Rican and Guatemala and Argentina and all these other places. We supposed to have the resources because we're tapped into the ultimate source, which is the Most High. So, according to your own ability, now that's subjective, because some people's ability is different than others. According to the people, like the parable of the talents, he said every man was given a talent according to their ability. So I'm asking you today, according to your ability, start to do good unto yourself. If you haven't, all right, some of you all doing good to yourself may be after the desire is accomplished, you may go ahead and take yourself out to a meal. I do that from often time. If it's a smaller goal, I take myself out to eat. I treat myself, whether it's sometimes with my wife, sometimes by myself. All right. If she's busy, I'm gonna still take myself out and celebrate my incremental improvements, because I need to have something that's gonna trigger this brain of mine and tell me that I'm doing a good job, a positive job. And then I set another worthwhile objective. See, when we hit our goals, we don't just stay right there. We don't just sit there and celebrate and then that's the end of the world. We on to the next thing. We celebrate for a day, we celebrate for a couple days, and then we right back at it. So according to your own ability, what is it? Taking yourself out to eat? What is it? Getting yourself a massage. Oh, that's what we did today. My wife and I just got a couples massage a few hours ago, laying down. Man, they stroking our back, stroking our bodies. Man, just applying pressure to my neck and my shoulders. And oh my goodness, walked out of there and then walked down into a sauna. Went to the sauna. They gave us a choice. They said, listen, you could do the cold plunge and you could do the sauna. My behind said, listen, I had to train my mind to be uncomfortable. So guess what? I'm going to go into the cold plunge today. And this is the first time I can remember being in the cold plunge. I mean, I'd have took cold, I'd have had a cold shower, cold water coming on me, and I'd have had some little glimpse of being in the cold. But like the cold plunge, I want some hands to come. I want y'all to throw some hands up for anyone out here that did a cold plunge before. I want you to throw your hands up in the chat. All right. So because if you've done the cold plunge before, you know exactly what this feeling is. We got one person, Sahas, she said, oh yeah, I did it. It's that cold plunge. They tell you to gently exit down the steps, gently exit up. So I gently exited down the, Elia, he did it too. Went down the steps. I gently went down the steps, and man, the shock that just went through my body, all the cold. And I'm talking about, I don't even know what the temperature was, but it was like my body got still for a minute. And I had to start breathing a certain type of way. I had to start breathing a certain type of way just so the shock wouldn't just overtake me. Because guess what? They said as you're on your way to becoming successful, you're going to have to be uncomfortable. So I had to train my mind, because over here in the Americas, all right, we are very comfortable. We have hot water for showers. Some of these people, they have cold water. So what's going to happen if you're in a situation where you have to take a cold shower? Are you not just going to take on and be dirty? Or are you going to train your mind ahead of time that if I need to be uncomfortable, I'm going to go ahead and get prepared for that? So I did it. I went to the cold plunge, got back up, man, body shivering, body shaking. Then I went over there to the sauna, went into the sauna. And then after that, blood, beads of perspiration coming through my head. And I'm right there in the sauna. And I'm saying my affirmations. I'm praying to the Most High. I'm declaring my goals. I'm speaking out things that I want to happen for me in the next year around this time. And I put those things there. And for the negative energy that I had, the negative thoughts that I had to leave them in the sauna. Leave them right there, burning and baking in those coals of fire. I had to leave it right there, and I had to get myself down, dry myself down, feel so good. I walked out of there, and then after I walked out of there, all right, my wife was out there waiting for me, and then we We hopped into the pool, hopped into the beach. Matter of fact, we was in the beach, feet in the sand, waves, oceans, and it's a beautiful thing how the Most High has created the waters where they can only go so far, and then they got to turn back around again. And so we was in the ocean, and I'm over there. Oh, I'm grabbing my wife. I'm being explicit with you all right now. I'm grabbing my wife. I'm all there in the water. We just having a good old time, right? We get out of there, then we go over to the hot tub. Oh man, it was the hottest hot tub we ever had in our lives. Hot, just boiling. I mean, boiling. I'm a hot tub dude. You know, people like to go swimming. I like to be in the hot tub. Then we go over to swimming, and we in there, and then the water cools us off, and we dry off, and we just at this all you can eat, all you can drink resort. We just having a wonderful time, and that's just how it went. But it started with a desire. And so, what are you going to do good to yourself? I just told you some of the things that we do. All right. We like to celebrate. I like to celebrate incremental victories. Traveling is key to us. All right. How many people on here think that's important to travel? And by a show of hands, if you could throw your hands up in the chat. We got one person, we got two, we got three, we got four. Some people saying, yeah, traveling is key. So let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 34 then. Ecclesiastes 34. This is what happens when travel comes into a place. Ecclesiasticus chapter 34, for those of you that have the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus 34, verse 9. It says, a man that have traveled knows many things, and he that has much experience will declare wisdom. So it says that a man or a woman that travels knows many things that come with traveling. When you get out of your little square of being in your city or being in your community or being in your state, some people have never left their state before. Some people have never left their city, and they have a limited thinking. When you travel outside of the country, I mean, your mind really, I mean, going around the states is cool, but when you leave the country, it really expands. Or and they said that a mind that expanded, it can never go back to its original state. Ecclesiastes 34:9 again, a man that have traveled knows many things, and he that has much experience will declare wisdom. Number 10, he that has no experience knows little, but he that have traveled is full of prudence. Number 11, when I traveled, I saw many things, and I understood more than I can express. So let me break this down for those of you that are reading verse 9 through 12. All right, when you look at this, what does Ecclesiastes chapter 9 through 12 say? It says, traveling causes you to know many things. Traveling leads to experience. Experience of travel leads to prudence. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back row. Traveling causes you to know many things. Traveling leads to more experience. And experience of travel, it leads to prudence. This is what the wisdom is telling us. So it will be wise. The wisdom is telling us you need to start traveling. If you want to be a person of wisdom, if you want to be a person that's not just dealing with the ABCs of life, you're going to have to get outside of your comfort zone. You're going to have to leave that city that you're in. You're going to have to leave that little surrounding area, that region that you're in, and you're going to have to get around some new people. You're going to have to shake hands and speak some different languages, all right? You're going to have to intermingle with people because it's going to. What's it say? Travel allows you to connect with others outside of your familiarity. Absolutely. We're comfortable with the people that we're around all the time. All right. But when you go to the place and when you're saying, oh, lie, when you're saying, como estás, and you're somewhere where you're saying, donde está el bano, when you end over here talking to these different people, when you say, cuánto cuesta, these individuals, you started to expand your mind a little bit. All right. When you're dealing with these individuals that speak in French and you start, dealing with them, it is mind expansion. This is what happens. They say exposure. And this is why we're going to open up the call here in a second after I go through these next couple scriptures, because we want to be able to see where your level of exposure is at if you've been able to experience it. So think about that again. Travel leads to experience. Experience of travel, travel leads to experience, and experience leads to prudence. And travel causes you to know many things. And it's a lot of things that my wife and I just picked up over these last few days being down here. And man, we went through Montego Bay. We went through the slums. We went through the poorest. I'm talking about some of the poorest areas that you can even imagine. Soon as we landed off of the airport, we saw poverty. Yes, we got this beautiful, great resort that I just showed you all, and it's magnificent, it's beautiful, it's tropical, palm trees, coconut trees. They got mangoes hanging on the trees, stuff that we don't see back in North America, right? But once you leave the confinements of this resort and you leave outside of the gated areas, you begin to see poverty immediately. Immediately. And the people are beautiful. I mean, I love the people down here. All right. But the exposure, this is what I'm trying to tell you. When you are exposed to this, it's different than watching it on YouTube. It's different than watching it in a movie. When you could drive past the areas. And I was in a restaurant yesterday, and these people are aggressive. You know, all right, listen, I'm talking about somebody walk up to me, hey, man, hey, I know you, man. Where I know you from somewhere, and walk up to me and put a bag of marijuana in my hand. I'm like, bro, I don't know you, man. Here your stuff, bro. What you doing? But this is what going on down here. We saw as we were on the tour bus, we saw an individual pull out his. Well, you know, you go to the gas station and you grab the little blade and you start wiping your dashboard. Man, somebody was doing that in the middle of the street while traffic was going on. This is how these people are trying to make money, is by any means necessary. We was able to see it firsthand. All right, so we can get to that here in a second. So let's continue. So we talked about that. We talked about that. Let's go to Proverbs 29:18 for a second. Proverbs 29:18. All right. It is very important. And today's topic, I didn't give this topic a message, but I'm gonna give it to it right now. Today's message is think big, think global. Think big, think global. That's what we're trying to do here with the Wisdom and Wealth Group. We're not thinking small, all right? The days are small. The days of thinking, trusting the Most High for peanuts and crumbs. Yeah, he'll give you the peanuts and crumbs all day long. But we're trying to trust in him for big things, all right? I know some people on the line. I'm looking at some faces. I'm looking at some names right now, and I see some people that's trusting the Most High for some real big things. I know some of you, right? I know all of you, but I know some people that's really trusting for some big things. So let's continue now. Proverbs chapter 29. And verse number 18, it said, where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. So what is the vision that you have for yourself, for your family? Listen, we just came back from Canada just a couple months ago. Yeah, I said Canada. I didn't say Canada. I said Canada. All right, I'm trying to be a little different for everybody else. We were just in Canada just a couple months ago, and now we're down in Jamaica. All right, and we're about to be somewhere else, the Most High is willing, in the next few months. This is because travel is a very important thing in my life. And if I have someone in my life that might be supposed to be an elder or a mentor or someone who I look up to, and they don't want to travel, it's a problem. I'm talking about, man, I'm like, okay, man, I don't know if I need to have this, because the people who I'm getting counsel from, the people who I'm connected to right now, y'all met some of these people on the virtual meetings. I mean, like, one of my brothers that was on the virtual meeting that you heard from, he asked me when we first met up, he said, brother, you got your passport? I said, yeah. This brother got multiple houses, real estate, all galore, and he has a house down in New Mexico. He don't just got properties in the state. He's somewhere down in New Mexico with property. Like, these are the people, multi-millionaires. So like, it's hard for me to get back and leave a vicinity of people that's working with millions and millions of dollars and investment properties and all that, and to come back to somewhere where nobody don't want to leave the country, don't want to leave their state. Like, I like these associations. There have been people over time I've had to withdraw from, because as I'm seeing with this group of people, this is my tribe right here. Every one of you all on here, the ones that attend the virtual conference, the ones that's been coming to our conference over here, I felt like I found my tribe. And it took me 12 or 13 years to find it. I could say it took me my whole life to find it. But I found individuals who love the Most High and that want to be able to enjoy the finer things of life. So where does your vision? My vision is to travel. All right, it is necessary. And at the end of this year, when I sit down and do my taxes, because this Jamaica trip, by the way, all right, it was funded by my business. And my business had to reward its top producer, which is me. even though I got a business with only me in it and me and my wife in it, but my company had to award the top earner and the top producer, which is myself. So as we're right here enjoying ourselves in Jamaica, I'm writing this stuff off on my taxes. The Canada trip, oh yeah, my company had to help with my employees, which is my daughters. And so guess what? We're going to find some type of way to write some of that off too. And if I decide to, because I'm going to be in a higher tax bracket at the end of this year, then I'm making up another trip for the end of the year so that I can reward my top earner of my company, which is me. But you got to be surrounded with other people who think the same type of way. All right. So what is your vision? You can sit back and think about your vision yourself. What is your vision? Without that in front of you, it said it will cause you to perish. That's why they say the average individual die at 25, but they're not buried until 65. Let me say that one more time. They say the average individual, they die at 25, but they're not buried until they're 65 years old. That's terrible because people stop dreaming. What did Messiah tell us? He said that unless you become like a little children, you will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. Some of us, we're not like little children. Little children, they can think big. They can think global until their parents tell them that you cannot do this, until their parents start telling them you need to stop dreaming that big. They don't know a limit. Their mind can, it's like, they think they can do everything. And so what has stopped us? What has stopped us from thinking big like this and thinking global? All right, elder, years ago, I had this elder in my life. He's one of my speaking coaches now. And I ran across Elder. I was telling him my goal at that time, which I thought was a big goal, was to travel all 50 states of the U.S. and to be speaking and giving speeches and telling people about wisdom. And so far, I've done that in South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Kentucky. I've been to different places around Ohio. I've been giving lessons and speaking on wisdom, right? And so that was my goal, to travel all 50 states. And he said, brother, I could see you in Africa being the main event. I can see you over here speaking on all these different platforms. So guess what happened? He challenged me, and when he challenged me, he gave me a silent challenge, because as he asked me if I had my passport or not, I felt as if he was getting ready to cut me off. I felt as if he was getting ready to cut me off if I did not begin to start thinking global. I felt like he was getting ready to limit his conversations with me because I had this a mind state of just thinking in the United States of America. And you need individuals in your life. You need individuals in your life that will be willing to cut you off for you not seeing the greatness inside of yourself. By them continuing to pour into you, that's why that's why this wisdom and wealth is so important. That's why I told you these conference calls and these virtual meetings are so important, because you get to connect with like-minded people. So you need people that's pouring into you, telling you, I see greatness in you. Yes, what you're doing is good, but guess what? Man, imagine somebody telling me, listen, I have watched you. You're bigger than what you think you are. This man was telling me, listen, man, you're bigger than what you think you are. And so I don't try to be like, man, I try to stay humble. I try to act like, I try to keep a low estimation. But listen, other people, they've told me, listen, I see you doing great things. I know the Most High is with you. And I can see you over here in Africa. I can see you rocking crowds. I can see you over here doing great things. And so you got to be surrounded with those type of people. So that's my vision, just a little bit. I can see myself traveling the world. I am a speaker and I love traveling, so I'm a traveling speaker. I'm a traveling speaker. I get to do the best. I get to put my feet in the sand. And then after I do that, I can go into a group of people, whether it's a small group or a large group, and deliver a message of wisdom. But then we're talking about business and finances and other things now. So what is your vision? Without that vision, you will perish. Please, we talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago, all right, about the plans of the diligent. Some of you all was on that Zoom meeting. The plans of the diligent. You have to have plans. These plans are going to ignite. These plans are going to excite something inside of you. Write them down. What are your monthly goals? What are your yearly goals? What are your 2 to 5 year goals? Listen, I already told my wife what the next place that we're planning on going to is either Puerto Rico or Aruba, or we got some people talking about Colombia. We got people are all over the place. But wherever I put my feet at in the sand next year around this time, I want to be double to almost triple what I have at this present time. So let's continue though. Now we talked about without a vision. Without the vision, the people are going to perish. Traveling is the thing. All right. Me personally as well, I will share another of the goal of mine. I want to visit every single continent on the earth. Now, I know they say Antarctica is uninhabited. They got some special stuff in Antarctica. You can't get to Antarctica. Some people say that's where the fallen ones are at. I don't know. So I don't have to go to Antarctica. It's too cold down there everywhere. But all these other continents, these other 6 continents, I'm trying to see what they're about because that's going to help my mental. It's going to help me to be able to deal with different nationalities and different people. That's why I want to be able to learn Spanish. That's why I want to learn Hebrew fluently so that I can broaden my horizons and I can be more effective. My wife and I, we was just talking to a Jamaican woman 2 nights ago. She saw me recording some content that I'm going to be sharing here when I get back into the States. And she saw me and she was walking with a friend of hers. And so as she was walking with a friend of hers, she saw me speaking to the camera and making this content and things of that nature. And she stopped. Her friend was with her. Her friend walked and kept walking. This woman stood on the top of this ledge, and she was looking down from the balcony, and she was just seeing me going in and doing a message in the camera and all that. And she stopped. And then after it was over with, she walked up to me and she said, "What's your YouTube page? Where you at? How can I find you? How can I find your videos?" And I told her Joseph Joshua would check me out online. And as I was walking with her, she was asking me questions. And then next thing you know, my wife popped up because my wife was talking to her cousin of hers, and she walked up. And my wife and I, next thing you know, what came into me doing a message about wisdom and on my own pleasant time came to my wife and I ministering to this woman. Pouring in, I'm talking about pouring into this woman. This woman gave up on the Most High. She was like done with the Bible. She was done with all this stuff. And we started talking to her, sharing the Most High's wisdom with her. And man, her spirit got lifted up. And my wife started speaking to her. And I was telling her, go check out my wife's music. And that's going to help brighten you up and things of that nature. She went on her way. We went to a restaurant. We were sitting down there dining, having a good time. We came across someone that said that he grew up keeping the Sabbath day. I guess he grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church. And we was able to connect with this brother. And man, it was just good vibes. So that's a part of my vision. Traveling, speaking, going across the whole world, declaring and declaring the messages of the Most High. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 5. We're almost done here. I'm going to be opening up to you all here as well. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, and we're going to go to verse number 18. All right, appreciate you all for chiming in tonight. You could be doing anything else but listening to me, but you're here tonight. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 18. Here is what I have seen. It is good and fitting for one to eat and to drink and to enjoy the good of all his labor in which he toils under the sun all the days of which the Most High gives him, for it is his heritage. Listen, I'm here to tell you today, it's a good thing for you to eat and drink. Eat and drink. What Solomon came to the realization was, after all the wisdom and all the money, they would try to equate Solomon in today's time as being a billion or a trillionaire with all the resources, with all the connections to Africa. I mean, to Pharaoh and Egypt, to Hiram and the king of Tyre, and with all the international. Some people would say that Solomon had stuff going on over here in the Americas. It wasn't called America at that time. All right, but they said Solomon had stuff going on, all that. But at the end of that, and the end of him having 1,000 women, at the end of him having all the gold and drinking on silver, on nothing but golden cups, silver was as an abomination unto him. Him living the life, this best life, and him writing down all this wisdom that we have today, all the Proverbs, the Ecclesiastes, the wisdom of Solomon, and he putting it all in the book. This is what his conclusion was. He said it was nothing better than for a man to eat and to drink and to enjoy the goodness of life. And so that's the wisdom that I've decided I'm grabbing a hold of. I'm not dealing with the people that have the folly and poverty mindset. Remember, this is wisdom and wealth. And wisdom and wealth is the opposite of folly and poverty. So the people that's in this movement, guess what? We're thinking big and we're thinking global. So it's nothing better that you can do. Don't get me wrong. There are better spiritual things you can do, like talking to the person about the Most High. That's absolutely better than eating and drinking, for sure. You going and praying and fasting, that's better than eating and drinking. All right, these are spiritual things, though. But in the physical, outside of the spiritual aspect of things, there's nothing pretty much better for you than to celebrate your victories in life. Celebrate the good things that you've been a part of. Don't sit back over here and live a life of gloom and doom, and you feel like and your life is passing you by, and you're not traveling nowhere, you're not doing anything, and your life is depressing, and you got people that don't want, and you got people that's not pushing you to be your best self. It's time for you to get around circles of people that's willing to challenge you, that's willing to invest in you, that's willing to motivate you and inspire you to be your best self. Let's continue. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 18, and we're going to go down to 19. As for every man to whom the Most High has given riches and wealth and given him power to eat it, to receive his heritage and rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of Yah. This is the Most High's gift for you to eat and drink. So there's times when I'm eating and I'm drinking, man. We got all the inclusive down here. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you all online tonight. Our first night down here, I ate so much food. I asked the Most High to forgive me. I was like, please forgive me. I went in. I ain't even about to lie to you. And I try to take care of my temple. I try to stay in shape, all that. But when it's all inclusive and it's all you can eat and drink, and you just eating things, tasting things. I mean, man. At the end of that night, I'm like, Father, please forgive me. And so each and every single night past the first night, I've been, working incrementally. I gotta do better. I got all this food around me, but I gotta make sure I don't consume too much of it. But all right, that was a little joking, a little matter, but that's my gift. That is my portion. Like my brother Obadiah said, he talks about enjoying his portion. I gotta enjoy my portion. I'm living. Listen, I'm not living my life just to go to work, get up at 3:30 in the morning and work 10, 11, 12 hours a day and do that every single day for a whole year or 2 years and not to travel. Man, you got the game all messed up. You think that's gonna be my life? You think that I'm not gonna take my wife on an international trip every single year? You got the game all messed up. We're international once, maybe 2 or 3 times a year. That's what is about to happen over here. And then we got weekend getaways too, because guess what? That keeps me fresh. That keeps me having something to look forward to. When you can go and our children, we need something that they need something to look forward to. So when I took my children to Canada, all right, we was able to paint the picture. Listen, I got a special place that I'm about to be taking y'all. I didn't tell them where it was at. They kind of have a hint. They knew where it was at. And man, them little children, it gave them something to look forward to. Some of us have children and we don't even give our children things to look forward to. What a shame. Going to work every day. All right. Yeah, you're teaching them the Bible. Yeah, you're teaching them about the scripture, but you ain't giving them nothing to look forward to. You're making their lives miserable. We gotta make sure that we're giving our children stuff to listen to. It don't have to be leaving the country. It don't have to be even leaving your state, but give something to look forward to, so that especially those of us who are trying to live set apart, you know that you don't indulge in everything that the world do. And some of us still are not giving our children and families things to look forward to. Let's continue. So we talk about Ecclesiastes 5 and 19. As for every man to whom the Most High has given riches and wealth and given him power to eat of it, to receive his heritage and rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of the Most High. Number 20, for he will not dwell unduly on the days of his life, because Yah, the Most High, keeps him busy with the joy of his heart. Listen here, it's a beautiful thing when the Most High is keeping you busy in the joy of your heart. And the joy of my heart is being out here celebrating. The joy of my heart is being around like-minded people who love the Most High, but they want to talk about business. Talk about, like we said, we got Dontre on the line with insurance. We got Sahar on the line with real estate. We got Sister Rebecca on the line with the hair. All right. We got my sister on the line, you strive with the investments. All right. We got like this is the connection. We got my rib on the line. All right. She's an author in the maker. She got some stuff coming on down the line. I ain't gonna spill all her beans, but my rib, she's working on some things behind the scenes. All right. It's a beautiful thing when you could be stimulated by individuals who are going to higher levels. Hanan Yah, I talked to him just some weeks ago. He got a project he's trying to work on. All right. Entrepreneur-minded individuals. El Yah, he's down there in New York making runs, making all over the place, right? It's good to have this type of connection of individuals. It might be some other people that I can't see on the screen, but this is what we're doing. So let's continue now. I'm about to go to one of the last scriptures, Ecclesiastes chapter 3. And I'm about to open this line up for you all. We're going to open this line up. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse number 12. He said, I know that nothing is better for them than to rejoice and to do good in their lives, and also that every man shall eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of Yah. I repeated a scripture that sounds exactly like the scripture I said before, because two is the number of confirmation. So if you hear it twice, you hear it three times, it's time to take heed to it. It is nothing better in this life for a man or a woman, outside of the spiritual things, outside of seeking the Most High in prayer, outside of fasting, outside of getting spiritual impartations and doing things spiritual. I understand that. Getting married, I understand that. But outside of that, there's no other better thing for a man to do or a woman to do than to eat and to drink and experience the good of the Most High. And I'm not saying to eat and be a glutton. I'm not saying that. All right, but to eat and to enjoy your portion, for it is the gift of the Most High. Let's go to Genesis real quick, and this is the last scripture. I'm about to open this bad boy up. Genesis. I want y'all to listen to what the Most High told Abraham here. All right, Genesis chapter 13. Genesis chapter 13 and verse 14. Now, this is when Abraham and Lot was about to separate from themselves because all of their substance was too big to dwell amongst each other. But pay attention to what the Most High said to Abraham. And Yah, the Most High, said to Abram, and after Lot had separated from him, he said, lift up your eyes now and look for the place from where you are, northward, southward, eastward, and westward, for all of the land which you see, I give to you and your descendants forever. Listen here. He said, open up your eyes and see northward, southward, eastward, westward. Look at all the land that you can see with your eyes. I have given it to you. So if you could close your eyes right now and you can imagine all the goals, all the land, all the territory, all the places that you want to be. Remember, one time, one of our speakers is worth tens of millions of dollars that spoke at our virtual conference a few weeks ago. He said that you are able to have all the way up to what your brain can think, all the way up to what your belief can handle. And if you have a small level of belief, then you're going to achieve small levels of results. They have a book out there in the personal development world. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big. They've taken the concept of faith, they're taking the concept of belief and made a whole book out of it. And it has so many different examples of individuals who can start out in the same course. One person make $500,000 a year, while the other person make $50,000. 50,000 to some people is okay, but 500,000 is 10 times as much, and you're gonna probably be able to do 10 times as much. So I'm gonna take y'all on a journey with me one more time, and we're gonna open this thing up, and I'm gonna get some feedback from y'all. So check this out. This is the result. This is the result of goals right here. All right. We in here. We in here. All right, I'm taking y'all on the journey with me. We in here. We in here. We in here, baby. We in here. And guess what? I'm on my way out there after this is over with. All right, so look, check this out. We're gonna open this up. We're gonna open this up because I got some questions I want to ask you all real quickly. All right. We're going back to Ecclesiastes 34 one more time. Ecclesiastes 34 and verse 9 through 12. It said, a man that have traveled knows many things. That's my Hananiah said motivation. He said that motivation, baby. He said he inspired. He ready to step it on up now. Ecclesiastes 34, a man that have traveled knows many things. So travel, it causes you to know many things. Travel leads to experience, and experience leads to prudence. That's what wisdom tells us. It's not just me saying that. That's what the wisdom says. I broke it down and summarized it.